Hello, you guys. Okay, so I'm so excited today. We're talking about parasites. And please keep in mind that I am an integrative health practitioner. I'm not a doctor, but I like to share what I know and how I can help and support people, and how you can help and support yourself, and so that you have the knowledge to better your health and to better the way that you live and the way you see things and understand maybe what your body is saying. Okay, so a lot of times people are seeing symptoms like chronic bloating, fatigue, brain fog, skin flare-ups. That is a huge sign. Skin flare-ups, grinding or clamping the teeth at night, digestive discomfort. And yes, in most cases, this is parasites, right? But sometimes there is something else happening. But it's important to know, like, hey, these are some of the symptoms of parasites. Is it always that? No. Sometimes it's something totally different. Okay. So it takes a lot of talking and understanding when things happen, just different things to know how to support you. Okay. So in this video, we're going to talk about what parasites are, how they enter the body, and how we support the body in addressing them, what healing can look like afterwards. Okay. This is exciting. Parasites are so exciting. Most people have parasites and don't even realize it, but it's important to understand them so you can see if you do. Okay, so what are parasites? Parasites are organisms that live in or on a host organism. Okay, so what they do is they draw out nutrients for survival. So in your body, if they're in your body, they're drawing out all the nutrients so that they can survive. They could care less about you. So, in my practice, we not only look at the organism itself, we look at the terrain of the body, right? What is the environment of the body? Your immune resilience, gut integrity, your detox pathways. Those are so important because we want to get those parasites out. So, how are your detox pathways and just your overall balance in the body is huge. Your gut is an can live anywhere. They can live in your joints, in your brain, anywhere in the body. They can live and just hide out. Basically, a lot of times they just hide in there and take all your nutrients. So, how do parasites enter the body? Okay. I get this question a lot when it comes to my clients, or I'm just talking to someone about parasites. I do some muscle testing too, and sometimes parasites ever get a parasite. There are so many ways. Okay. So, undercooked or contaminated meat. Um, I A lot of times we're like, "Well, I don't eat meat that is undercooked or contaminated." Well, sometimes you don't know, right? You eat at restaurants, or sometimes the pork we eat has a lot of parasites in it, depending on the environment that the pig was in, right? So sometimes we don't even know or realize that we had contaminated meat or undercooked meat. Because it's not instant result. It's not instant, right? You don't just eat the meat and you're like, "Oh, I got a parasite." No, sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. Okay. So unwashed produce or washed not very well. Okay. So the best thing for you to do is to buy organic produce. Some of it, it's okay not to buy organic if you're on like a budget, but the dirty dozen, buy those organic for sure. If you need that list, let me know. Like, hey, but the dirty dozen, or you can Google it. Um, those for sure buy organic, but you still need to wash your fruit. Okay, wash it in, let it soak in baking soda water for like 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, that's a great way. Maybe use some apple cider vinegar um, instead of the baking soda, but baking soda. Sometimes you're even eating produce at a restaurant that has not been properly washed or washed at all, right? You go to the salad bar because you think it's so healthy. Sometimes there are parasites on there because it's not washed very well or washed at all. Okay. Am I telling you not to do that? No, I'm just telling you that's where things could come from. Okay, so contaminated water source. This is huge as well. It could be from drinking water. It could be from pools, lakes. If you're drinking waters at hotels or traveling and drinking water, out of the country sometimes. Poor hand hygiene, not washing your hands very well, travel exposure, like I just said, go down to Mexico. Maybe you come home. Have you ever come home from traveling and you just have like such bad diarrhea or bad digestive issues happening? That could totally be a parasite that you caught while you were traveling. Okay. Contact with infected animals or pet waste. This is common. Babies, kids, toddlers crawling around in the grass, right? And they have a dog. Maybe the dog is licking them or you. That's how you can get parasites, okay? Because a lot of times animals are contaminated. Um, let's say walking barefoot and in a contaminated environment, the waste and all of that stuff. Certain insect bites depending on your location. Okay, so those are some ways that parasites may enter the body. And let's be honest, sometimes, most times, we are exposed to these things. So, especially if you notice the diarrhea after travel or whatever, you think like, hey, that's got to be a parasite. Then it's easy. Just do a cleanse, right? Cleanse your body, and get rid of that parasite. So signs we may look for in my practice. Okay. So things that I look at are persistent bloating, right? It's not just with food, but it's constant. You're constantly bloated. Okay. Digestive irregular, right? Your digestive system is irregular. Like you are having bloating and constipation and then diarrhea, and like things are just not consistent. Things are just not, don't feel right. Things that are going on in your digestive system. Food sensitivities can definitely be a parasite. Fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, brain fog, skin rashes. Skin rashes are huge. When I see skin rash, I think digestion and parasites. Those are the first two things that come to my mind as an integrative health practitioner. And especially if there's no unexplained reason for the irritation. Okay. Sugar cravings is a huge one when it comes to parasites. Nutrient depletion, again, because the parasites suck and want all of those nutrients. They don't care about you. They want the nutrients for themselves. Sleep disturbance, immune dysregulation. Okay, so that's not always parasites, right? A lot of times, some of that can be hormones. I work with both, but it's good to understand that some of that can actually be parasites. Okay. The integrative approach to addressing parasites, we don't focus on just eliminating the organism, right? We want to eliminate the organism, but we want to also focus on the environment that the body is in, right? And we want that to become less hospitable for the parasite. Okay. So we want to eliminate the parasite, but we also want the environment to not want to hold any more parasites, right? We want a good environment for our body, but a bad environment for the parasites. Okay, so we don't want parasites in there anymore. So we don't just say, hey, yeah, do a parasite cleanse and let's eliminate it. We do a lot of gut health, a lot of gut health when it comes to that, okay? Because we want to support healthy digestion. We want to optimize your detox pathways. So, a lot of times, if our body is working well, it can just automatically remove parasites. Okay. So you do that. You drink that cup of water and you're like, oh, like, I don't know if that has parasites in it, or I just got that from the sink at the hotel room, right? If your body is in a good, like, immune function, good gut microbiome, and good detox pathways, everything is working and functioning correctly and well, efficiently, right? And we're eating healthy, we're doing all of the things, then our body can just eliminate those parasites for us. Okay, because they're like, hey, this is not right. We don't want this in here. That's what our bodies should be doing. Okay. Replenishing your nutrients. We want to make sure we're getting those nutrients. And a lot of times people are like, I don't need a multivitamin. I don't need to eat healthy. I don't need all these minerals. Like, It's okay, like, it doesn't make a difference, I don't notice a difference when I take it. Okay, well, your body, your organs actually notice a difference. It helps your body easier remove these things. Your body needs these nutrients, and it is so important, okay? Support immune function, prioritize hydration. You guys, water is so important. You got to be drinking it all the time, basically all the time, right? We want tons of water all day. We want to flush things out. We want to get them out of our body. Reduce inflammatory food triggers. Um, a lot of people don't realize that if they're on like a high dairy diet, maybe that is not a very good diet for your body, right? Your body may need to reduce that um, for a little while and maybe find better sources after we have eliminated that food for a while, right? The most common food sensitivities are milk or dairy, gluten, and eggs. So sometimes when we go through things, I say, hey, let's eliminate them for 3 months. And then we can slowly introduce things back and see how it goes. Um, Improve your sleep and your stress regulation. Stress is so important, and your sleep is so important. Sleep is when we detox, our body is help like detox. Sleep is when our body detoxes, right? So natural support strategies commonly used are um, like botanical antimicrobials, right? Gut barrier support. Like I said, we focus on the gut a lot of times. Liver and drainage support. Detoxing and making sure your body is draining, whether we use dry brushing, we do jumping and rebounding. That is an awesome place to start to get lymph moving, massage, just different techniques. Mineral replenishment, we get those minerals in there. Sometimes we test to see which minerals you need more of, right? We start with a multi, but then sometimes we need a little bit of a boost for some of them for a short period of time. Probiotic and microbiome support. Probiotics are so important for the gut and the microbiome. Anti-inflammatory nutrition strategies, okay? So we talk about certain foods that are anti-inflammatory that we can use during the cleanse and during this time, okay? If you suspect a parasitic infection, proper evaluation matters. Okay, not every digestive system is caused by a parasite, and treatment should be individualized. Okay, so that's why we talk. That's why we do a comprehensive health assessment, and then we chat, right? And then we do all of these things to figure it out. We can even do a stool test to see the parasites that maybe show up in your stool. Not all the time do parasites show up in your stool, right? Sometimes they're still hiding out in your body and you won't see them in the stool, but it is a great way. We can also do an oat test, which tests your gut and your digestive system, food sensitivity test. Um, these are all great ways to understand your body better and to be able to support it on a higher level rather than just kind of guessing along the way. Okay. Healing after a cleanse or protocol. Many people miss this. This is a big picture. Okay. So, after a cleanse or protocol, we need to heal the body. So we don't just do the cleanse and then we're done, right? We want to, like, we want to remove the stressor one step at a time. We want to rebuild so that true healing happens. Okay. We want to rebuild that body. So, restoring your gut integrity, rebuilding beneficial bacteria, by the foods that we eat, the probiotics, the prebiotics, the postbiotics, all of the things in our body that we need, the nutrients, focusing on whole nutrient dense foods. What we are eating is so important for our body and our organs, and getting rid of those parasites, okay? Supporting your nervous system regulation, improve your detox pathways. We can do a 7-day, 14-day, 21-day detox, which is huge for someone who has never done a detox. I do a 7-day I do it four times a year. I do it every quarter. And so it's extremely important for your body to keep your organs running efficiently. That's why we do detoxes. Continue hydration and mineral support. Create sustainable wellness habits. So I have this full moon parasite cleanse that I do a lot of times with clients. There are three different levels. There's a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And it's something that you do around the full moon because parasites become more active around the full moon. And if you didn't know, when the full moon is out, our serotonin levels rise, and then the parasites get more active. So when you're cleansing and parasites are active, it's easier to flush them out than when they're staying stagnant and they're hiding, right? It's harder to get them out. So this sort of cleanse is designed to support the body through structural wellness support. Okay, so we use holistic and herbal supplements, black walnut, all of the things that you can have a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds every day. You don't necessarily have to just do the cleanse during the whole moon, right? The full moon. You can start it around the full moon and continue on until the cleanse products are over. You can increase as you go, right? Start at the beginner version, and as you're going along, do the intermediate and then the advanced, depending on how you feel. We never have someone start out at the advanced just because we want to avoid any fatigue or Herx reactions that would be more harmful on the body and harder for you to eliminate, right? We want to slowly work and eliminate the body. First, we focus on, okay, is your body eliminating, right? Are you constipated? Are you having bowel movements every day? Are you sweating every day? Are you, being active, jumping maybe would be a good idea, infrared saunas. Are you doing these things first before we do a cleanse so that we know that what we are doing during the cleanse is actually supporting the body, right? We're not just killing the organism, we are using a binder then to hold on to that and grab onto it and to remove it from the body, okay? So if you're ready for to support your internal terrain in your internal environment and take a deeper look at the whole body wellness, check the link below. There's the comprehensive health assessment. That's where we start. Healing is never just about removing what doesn't belong in our body. It's about rebuilding the body that thrives, right? We want the body to thrive. So we want to rebuild it and help it thrive. And so I will see you in the next video.